I'm going to start this by sharing a magical moment with my dear friend Brenda across the veil. So many of you have joined us before. We welcome the newcomers, but those of you who've been with us before know that I play this game with my guide Brenda before a reading, and I say, tell me something going on with Lynette now, so that I know I'm tuned in and ready to work, connect with my clients' loved ones. And she just instantly puts it in my mind. I pick up my phone, I text Lynette, as I prepare for my reading, Brenda is showing me this and that, and she texts back, and it's just fabulous. But it's stunning sometimes that even though we know what we know, we absolutely know Brenda is here, that she's part of our lives, just like we know our loved ones who have passed are still here. What is it about this human body that keeps us, and the ego that just keeps us surprised at these magical moments? So the one I share with you, Lynette has been wearing a little brace on her wrist since September. She injured her wrist. So I know she's having problems with her wrist, but I tune into Brenda before I do a reading, and I said, what's going on with Lynette? And she literally said, tell Lynette not to chop her hand off. Now, that is not pulling data out of the air. That is our sassy friend Brenda trying to be cute, right? So that's what she gave me. And I'm going to prove to you that this really happened, because I have a screenshot of that moment of the text, and I'm going to share it with you now, because it was an OMG moment of the highest order. As I prepare for so-and-so's reading, Brenda wants me to tell you, you should not chop off your hand. Lynette replies, oh my God, I just said that to Margine, Lynette's sister. If there's nothing on the MRI about her hand, it's time for amputation. Not an hour ago, she said that to her sister. And I replied, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that, but I guess I'm ready to work. OMG. Ah! Tell her not to chop her hand off. What does that tell you, everybody? They really hear our conversations. She's showing me that Spy versus Spy cartoon from Mad Lib's book back in the 70s. Yeah, she's a little spy. She's showing it to me right now. They're like spies. When I told you they know what's in your thoughts, they know everything. And the conversations is just a thought voiced aloud, right? So Lynette had just said an hour ago to her sister, I know she had an MRI scheduled. If they don't show something, it's time for amputation. Wow. So as I went into the reading, Brenda said, the greatest gift you can give yourself, Suzanne, is to surrender to spirit. Well, the reading that followed was off the charts good. And I don't like to grade or rate readings, but it's what I pray for, what I train for, what I teach people to go for, that 5-bar connection with clarity and flow. And what made it possible? The total trust in spirit, that spirit's going to show up however my client needed, and I can't do a thing about it. So all I have to do is give up. And that was the image I had in my mind. Just give up. So the next morning, still glowing from this wonderful connection that I enjoyed, I went into meditation to talk to my guides and to thank spirit for what happened when I surrendered. This lesson is for you. The power in giving up to spirit. We sometimes see that as a weakness. It's the most powerful thing you can do. What are you giving up? The ego that says, I have to do it myself. I have to have my own power. When the greatest power that is breathing you. So surrender is not weakness. It's an act of intention. I want to have joy. I want to be successful, to help others. So I give up. So as I was giving my gratitude to spirit, they gave me this teaching that I'm about to share with you. And it's a practice a way of life that I've been practicing for the past 3 weeks, and I love it. It's a way of integrating the spirit energies and your human earthly energies into one whole. That's who you are. I got goosebumps as I share this. You are a soul and you are a human at the same time. The more we can bring that into awareness at the same time, the more we appreciate our wholeness and life flows. So what they showed me is a fountain. When I made that I give up motion, I was giving up the ego to spirit. And they showed that it's like a fountain. And I'm going to share now these beautiful drawings from Karen Crawford. I hope you'll go on YouTube and watch the interview I did with Karen and on the podcast. She is a former emergency room doctor who is now an astrologer, and she's just a wonderful artist. So here is the first stage of this practice. The red glow here, if you can see the arrows, represents the flow of energy from the earth. It's animating your physical aspect. It flows through you at all times. In Wolf's Message, my book, Wolf's Message, Wolf talked about breathing in from above and below. So this would be the energy that we breathe in metaphorically from below. And you notice how the arms go up. So the first thing we do to connect and to be whole is to give up our ego, give up the need to control to spirit. So notice how the energy flows up. And in this drawing, it's starting to go outwards, right? So then in this spirit of giving, we give out. So the first stage is give up to spirit, and now give out what is spirit's to give out. What is it that spirit wants us to give outward? Love. Love. That comes from the heart. That comes from spirit. That energy fuels us all the time. We're pulling in the physical energy. We can give it outward. Look at the little golden stars there. So give this out in 360 degrees. Just be this giving being. You've given up to spirit. Let spirit guide you in how to give out your love and to whom. Basically, following a Daily Way message the other day, anybody who crosses your path is an opportunity to give out what is spirit's to give. Notice how the energy is now flowing naturally outward because you're pulling it in and up and through you. So where's that energy going to go next? Like a fountain, it's going to start flowing downward. So as it flows downwards, first we give up, then we give out, and now we give back to the earth what no longer serves us. Those are these little dark spots here, dense areas in your energy field that you've been carrying around. You're aware of them because they come up all the time in your interactions with other people in the form of judgment and guilt and shame. Well, we have to look into that and say, I'm ready to give that up. How do you do that? Give it back, sorry. We give it back with our intention. Whatever's in my field, I give it back to spirit to be healed. That's the intention. So you just leave it out there. And then because that energy is flowing upward, it's creating a vortex, a flow, 360 degrees around you, not just to the sides like in this diagram. And now you give in to receiving more of that flow. You've just completed this vortex. You're giving up to spirit, giving out the love that is yours to give, giving back what no longer serves you, and giving in. When you give in, look how the hands are crossed across the heart here. You give in and go within to the heart and just be present. Just be with no story. Give inward. You'll find your own feelings to go with all of this, but it's a practice. You can practice it while walking around, while doing anything, while doing the dishes. I'm giving up, meaning spirit, take over for me. I'm going to give out my love to those around me. I'm going to give back what no longer serves me with spirit's help and give in to receive whatever insights I need from spirit. So I was getting all this really great guidance from spirit about how these earthly energies help us in our physical life. And I loved the giving up, giving out, giving back, giving in. And I went back a couple of days later into meditation after having used it and feeling loving and open. And I said to spirit, but you haven't given me any words for what happens with the opposite flow when energy comes down from spirit, because we are both human physical beings and spirit beings. So this purple color represents the spirit. These are arbitrary colors, all right? It's not representative. I just didn't want to give it any color that might give it some meaning, like one is better than the other, okay? They're equal in importance. So at all times, the spirit energy is coming down from above and enlivening you below, and it's going to create its own opposite flow. And I sat in meditation. And I said, are you going to give me words to use, like giving up, giving out, giving back, giving in? And I had the most amazing experience of feeling that flow. It just flowed down from me. My entire being was vibrating. And I hope all of you will ask to have this experience yourself, because I'm not unique. We are all these spirit beings. And it just flowed around, and spirit showed me this was beautiful. No words are necessary with the spirit energy. We give words and use words with our human experience, but as spirit, we don't need words at all. The energy simply flows and does its thing. And they showed me what that is. It's the healing. As it comes down and flows up and around, that powerful spirit energy meets those dense areas that you have given back through your free will and heals it. You set the intention to give back. You acknowledge that you are a soul. The energy comes around and dissolves the densities. Healing takes place with others. Of course, I go to energy healers myself, but visualizing this and holding the intention that it is so, just as we talked about earlier, is often enough to heal. And now I love this final drawing by Karen, who depicts what I was trying to show you. It's not just out to the sides. This dance of earthly energy and spirit energies is going on all the time. So it's a beautiful practice to sit in meditation and visualize what I am now calling the fountain of fullness. The fountain of fullness practice. So you can take it bit by bit in any order, and then take that into your daily life. I went for a walk while I was practicing this. Ty wasn't with me. And I'm walking around and I'm saying, I give up to spirit, guide me. And I look ahead of me, and there at the corner is this man who I have seen since we moved into this neighborhood 3 years ago. And he's always grumpy. Grumpy. He turns the other way when we're coming with our dogs. I don't blame him, because our dogs bark at his dog, but he has a big dog. And I didn't know his name. 3 years. And he's always scowling. When we drive by, he scowls down at the ground. So I just let him be. But here I am being the fountain of fullness. I walked past him, and I felt this energy go out behind me as I gave up and gave out. And I turned around and I walked back to him and I said, you know, I've lived here a while and I don't even know your name. And I met him with that loving energy. And do you know, I got goosebumps. That man gave the biggest smile and he said, why, it's John. And I said, and what's your dog's name, John? I'm Suzanne. And he goes, why, this is so-and-so. And I said, what kind of dog is he? I mean, 3 years we've been passing each other. And I'm the one that always talks about being loving to people, but I was just, I wasn't giving out. I know we have a smart aleck statement about what it means to give out, but you know what I'm talking about here. Giving out your loving energy. He was completely transformed by that smile. I went home to Ty and I said, guess who I met? He's not so grumpy. Totally transformed by that smile, which is no surprise. I know we've all experienced that with people, but I hope this is inspiring you to practice the fountain of fullness. Where does that come from? Soul. We have that energy going in both directions as now, and we are whole. We're whole. You always are, but we're bringing this into awareness at the human level. And we're aware that we are nourished and enlivened by those physical energies, and that we make the choice to surrender to spirit, that energy that's coming down. You might want to reread Wolf's message about balancing head and heart, earthly energies and cosmic heavenly energies. So I'm going to end this evening with a way that spirit showed itself to me in a way that was astoundingly beautiful. I love Ty with all my heart. And I realized that our relationships are the greatest way we grow. And there are moments when we push each other's buttons, and that's the royal we. That's all of you, all of us, right? Is there anybody in your life that's very close to you that has never pushed a button? I doubt it. Maybe a pet. But the humans, we come here to help each other grow by being more loving. And in the last month, there was one interaction that we shared. I don't know what I did or what I said, but there was a little friction as we went to sleep that night. And that wasn't the most comfortable thing. And it was the middle of the night, and I was lying there. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking, man, why can't we just love each other all the time? And I asked Spirit, why can't we just express that all the time? And I realized then that Spirit is always present with us. And it's our human side that needs humans to show us their love. But that's why we're here, right? It's through the contrast that we come to know love. And I realized that what Sanaya just said, you are so very loved, is the truth. Spirit, Ty loves me no matter what, and I love him no matter what, but our human sides get a little snarky every once in a while. But Spirit, unconditionally, always present, always loving us. And when we realize that, we could live alone, we could live with people we don't get along with too well, and know we are so very loved. So I lay there and I turned on my side with my back to Ty at 3 in the morning, and I said, Spirit, why don't you wrap your arms around me? And in that moment, my husband rolled over in his sleep and wrapped his arms around me. And I just went, wow. It's what I've been teaching all along. It's what Spirit showed me at the very beginning. Each of us is the arms and legs of God. Spirit knows itself through us. And it's always right here. It is us. And it was just the most beautiful validation of that. No matter what, our souls are up in the mezzanine saying, pass the popcorn. Look at them. There they go again with their little human stuff. But they will show them. They're all God in expression. God, letting God flow through them. So when you need Spirit to wrap its arms around you, whether or not the person next to you does that, whether or not there's anybody in your life, Spirit is here and it's flowing through you. So wrap your arms around yourself if you need to feel that. Meanwhile, we love you. My team in spirit, my team in spirit, my team here, send you our love. May this have helped you to find the love that is in you and bring it to the surface. And as I like to say, spew it all over everyone. Give out what is yours to give. Blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us.